What's the ecosystem in Tripura like right now?
Yes, it's growing. It's cool. Why cool? Because the students, college student, they are thinking of taking a risk, and that is really good. I believe they are yet to learn a lot of things. I tell them, "Hey, bro, read this. You'll learn." They don't listen. They are looking for shortcuts. Like I'll do this and it will happen. But it's fine. People make mistakes, and that is very very important for a journey. We made a lot of mistakes, and that is the reason maybe we have learned things and we have built until today. So this is the same thing I tell, and yes, after that event, I got a lot more DMs. Okay, they were asking, hey, like you have done this, can you guide us, can you be mentor? Okay, and I was like, like I don't have any time. Okay, like so I create videos, I write content. Okay, or also please read the Paul Graham essays. It will literally help you. Okay, and
He wrote some essays that people.
yeah, Paul Graham has essays. Like whoever is watching this podcast, please read all his articles. They are really going to help you. Like it's very very like organic, and you'd be able to relate yourself.
Yeah, I think I want to mention 14 or 16 reasons why a startup
Yeah,
fail.
yes, that is so.
I want everyone to read that. It's such a simple language, and
Yes.
we'll link it in the description of this podcast. I'd
Please,
love for you
please,
guys
please.
to check that out.
Read like whatever he has written on startup. Please read that. It will add a lot of clarity in your in your mind. You'll have a lot of questions. Trust me, startups are not easy. It's crazy hard. I literally don't recommend people go for startup and stuff. Literally, okay. Especially like in a global scale. So there was this question on that event. There was this guy. He was asking, why there is no startup from Tripura that's doing global thing and stuff. And I was like, bro, like you have to understand first, like why no, right? Why no? Like there is no discussion, okay? And you cannot come out of somewhere and ask, why there is no startup and stuff, right? You have to understand a lot of things, like economic zone, like the people working, talent, and what it takes to build a startup.
Yeah, first you have to build for national scale, right? From a state like
course.
Tripura, then you can think of
Yes,
international
absolutely. So
scale.
there are multiple ideas, right? Like you have to think. So I gave them 3 points. Okay, so if you're from a small like town cities, okay, so these 3 things are always going to make you money. Okay, so one thing is healthcare, education, and the third one is like this bank. Okay, bank, like this education, because like see, anybody like living there, like they are going to like spend money in education, isn't it? And healthcare, that is again very mandatory, right? Isn't it? And the bank part, because money is going to be required, isn't it? Like to lend money and stuff. So if you want to do something or make money or stay there itself, or maybe like someday maybe in the future you'll move outside, that is again different game. But if you want to live there, do something, so these 3 could be best part where you can like start something, find something, where you can find customers and sell them. There's one more I missed out, that is food. Okay, food. These 4 things are very much crucial in any small city. Like if you want to do something, maybe create some idea around that, and like you can make money, or establish your startup and slowly move into other cities. So currently in Tripura, startup is like the craze is growing. Okay, previously we had very limited number of startups being recognized by the government, but currently the number is growing. Okay, whenever I visit there, I see new startups coming in, new ideas. They talk with us, they talk with me, and really love the fact that they're actually thinking about it without actually thinking that I have to be entitled to get a job. Like I've done this degree, so now the next step is government will give me job. But now they're understanding that no, let me create something.
I think another sort of limitation sometimes in Northeast in general, but I think just like tier 3, tier 2 cities that are maybe outside of these states that are known for being like startup promoting states, is that oftentimes people who want to get into business, young people, they'll get advice from legacy businesses, from like traditional businesses, right? And they'll ask, how do I do this, right? And the advice that they get is advice that maybe was applicable in the 90s or the 80s, and they try to apply that advice
Correct.
in 2022
Correct.
Or 2023, depending on when people are watching this video. And then obviously it doesn't work, right? Because it doesn't actually take into account smartphones. It doesn't take into account the internet. It doesn't take into account how connected everything is now.
Yes.
And I think that's probably one thing that Northeastern startups, and maybe specifically Tripura startups, one of the reasons why we haven't seen so many of them, or a lot of them are actually more like MSMEs, right? They're just sort of starting a small local business instead of thinking bigger and actually taking advantage of the power of the internet the way that you guys are.
Yes. So again, right? I would say again, it would totally depend on the team, right? Their vision, and you can be any, you can like just live anywhere, and you can do stuff if you know the internet, right? If you know how to use it well. So I really love this thing by Sridhar Vembu. Like he's trying to create different economic zones, right? Like by distributing the talents into different small cities. So what he does, he has like this small offices in different villages.
For people who don't know, Sridhar Vembu is the founder of Zoho.
Yes, absolutely. And that is the like I believe we need more people like him. We need to learn a lot from like him. I was just thinking yesterday randomly there should be a biopic on his journey. Like they recently shared that they have crossed 1 billion in revenue. That is such a feat, isn't it? Such an inspiring thing. So he's actually thinking in this direction where he's actually trying to distribute talents into small cities. Again, this is a great thing for proof of work. Why? Because this is the thing going to help anyone, right? Anybody from anyone. You can you can just reach out to companies, write an email, showcase yourself, create a video of yourself. And since internet we have, right? And also over time we'll see laptops being widely accepted and widely it's already happening, but the rate would be much more. So this thing would be really cool, and really I'm really excited for that actually. Also Nitin Kamath, he's also thinking around this direction. So he supports such startups, okay, with his Rainmaker Foundation, where if you are someone and if you are an idea who works on such things, okay, where you are helping, where you are actually, like helping in this, local development of like, local development thing. For example, if you've created something and it is actually helping the local people, so they will support such kind of initiative and stuff. So it's really good. So we need to have much more things like this.
So in a way, you're making it easier for people in these smaller cities to actually hire people and start their startups, because what you're doing is enabling them to vet these applicants, right, who are applying from metro cities, but they don't necessarily have to interview them because they can just judge their skills by Fueler.
Yeah.
Right.
Their profile.
Yeah, their profile.
Yes.
So
it doesn't even matter where they're from either.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You can be from a metro, you can be from a tier 2, tier 3, like literally making stuff in a village. And as long as your work is impressive, that's all that matters, right?
Yes, yes. And I was reading this book, not book exactly. I was reading this article by Ankit. So Ankit currently he's working with Brew.com. So Brew.com is a maker of BioLinky, Buy Me Coffee, all of this product. So Ankit has wrote this article, okay, the playbook for ambitious. Okay, so he mentioned this word very nicely that like internet. Okay, like you can be ambitious in today's time if you can know how to use internet, how to build distribution for yourself. Go on the internet, make friends, make internet friends. It can literally change your career.
Do you feel like it's changed your career?
Of course, I told you, right? My whole career is based on internet, right? So like I'm the living example for that. Not just me, the whole team. Like, so two things that has has had biggest impact in my life personally. It is internet and books. Like I have spent crazy amount of time in these things, and yes, I can see the benefits and all the things that are compounding right now. So
the reason why you're here on this podcast is because I saw somebody, someone that I was following on Twitter. They made a post saying, what are the startups in Northeast India, or like, are there any startups in Northeast India? And you must have been following the same person, and so you replied and said, yes, we're here in Tripura, Fueler.
Yes.
And that just was really interesting to me. I'm like, who is this guy? And I think your DP was also like a really nice color, and I was like, oh, that looks like a nice DP. Let me click and see. And then I went on, I think you had commented Fueler, right? So I just went on Google and I typed Fueler, and then the first thing that came up was Fueler.io, and I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, this must not be it. Like, it must be a different company. Like he's got Fueler.com or Fueler.in. So I went back to Google and searched again, but like nothing else was coming up. And I was like, is this really Fueler? Like, and they're making this in Tripura? Like, this is so impressive. Like, this looks like a website that you would see. I'm not saying that Indian startup founders can't make beautiful websites. Anybody can make a beautiful website, but I just, for some reason, Tripura, to think that this was happening there, and like Tripura was not on my radar at all when it came to like any startups or founders from that part of the country, right? So when I saw Fueler, it just blew my mind. I was like, this is incredible. Like this really feels like something that you guys are bootstrapped right now, right? You haven't raised money from investors, but like if I was an investor and I saw this, like I wouldn't care where you were from. I'd be like, take my money. Because first of all, the concept is beautiful, right? As an employer myself, it's hard to find people, and sometimes people will give like fake projects, right? Or like they'll take projects from other people and they'll claim that this is theirs, right? So Fueler does like actually solve a really important problem, at least in my opinion, and it's done in such a smooth, beautiful way. I don't know. I was just amazed, and so then I DM'd you and I was like, hey, let's talk, because like this is really amazing that you guys are building this out of Tripura.
I couldn't believe actually, like when I got your DM, I was like, is it the same person from that YouTube channel? I'm like really? So I was so surprised. Okay, I don't know. I don't have words to thank you.